What's up, Hotep? Getting ready to get it started. Get my invites real quick. What's going on? What y'all doing Saturday night? What y'all got up for tonight? Anybody going out, partying? I know we had Halloween last weekend. Anybody going to the movies? I want to go see Halloween. I need to go see that. Everybody talking about they scared. Ooh, I'm scared. I'm so scared. What the hell, man? Just getting these invites up real quick. Get these viewers in the place to be. Down with us. Where my mic at? That's what I'm missing. I'm like, damn, where's my mic? You got me mic'd in? Check my mic, please. So now all you got to do.
Okay, let's
that's right.
Let's just test it there.
You can go to the different shit that we're talking about and look, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's what you using that tablet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to worry, you know what I'm saying, worry about, oh, I didn't get to write it down, I ain't got the,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Let's make it easy.
I'm here.
So I can peruse it.
Keep aside.
I like that word.
Alright,
Peruse.
okay, I can hear myself,
Check, 1, 2.
Alright, yep, Steve, you're coming in good.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Jeremiah, you're good too. Perfect.
You good.
I want to do it, drop my zoom in the boom.
Facebook is asking something. And what's the answer?
You ain't got your tablet?
I got my tablet, but do you want to
Supposed
tag?
to connect it so you can read that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alright, I did all the damn advice. What's good? Sorry I wasn't responding. You know, I'm hitting everybody back right now. I had to get all the show invites up, man. Crazy. Yep. Just getting set up, man. Just getting set up. Oh. Put my little drink real quick.
Julie Littlewood, what up, though?
Alright, we ready to go?
Yep, I got the recorder going and everything.
Alright, cool. So, what's good, my peoples?
What up, though?
Welcome to the Dome City Radio Show. I am your host, DJ Stacks Money.
I'm
my co-host,
comedian
Jeremiah Paulin. And we are in the place. Man, back another week. This is season 1, episode 6.
This is 6?
Yeah, 6 episodes.
Should be flying.
Yeah, tell me about it. 6 episodes, man. So what y'all been doing out there? What's up, Danny? Danny tuned in.
Danny, we miss you, Danny.
Danny, you need to come and do another show with us. But so what's going on in the real world this week? If you live in Pontiac, Michigan, anybody that knew Terrence T-Bone Vaughn, today was his funeral. So rest in peace, T-Bone, Boney-on.
Rest in peace. I didn't know him.
That's Terrain, older brother. Terrain that went to school with us.
Oh, I never met him.
Brother.
I didn't know he had an older brother. Rest in peace, Terrain.
Not
older
Terrain.
brother. I was done. No, not Terrain. I will take some weeks.
Anyway, yeah, his funeral was today, man. A lot of crazy stuff been going on, man. Too many people dying.
How was your week? Let's get to your week.
Need to get y'all age, man.
Yeah.
Get y'all age. I had a good week. Real good week. Money good. Worked a lot. I was tired in the motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to sell one of my cars. So
Right.
I was working on that. Let me see. I still want to go see Halloween. I ain't seen it yet. And I ain't had too much going on, man. Kick it with the kids tomorrow. You know, we gonna go hang out and.
Yeah. Did you take them trick or treating?
No.
Oh,
I don't never take my kids trick or treating.
You know?
No, I'd rather if they go to a party, I go to that. But
Yeah.
I don't do the trick or treating thing.
Why not?
Cold, I'm straight. I ain't got time for that.
Nah, I feel you. Trick or treat.
Straight. Cause if they give my kids some, you know, bowl candy or anything like that, I'm going off.
I feel you.
I'll be one of them parents. What the fuck is this shit? Be out there like Samuel L. Jackson and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck is this asshole?
Right. Who you ain't gonna know who did it either. That's the fucking part. You went to 28,000 houses. Which one of y'all put the poison in the candy? Who put the raisin in the chocolate?
You had to stop going to trick or treat. You had to go to like the community center to trick or treat, so they could check the candy and shit.
That's crazy.
Cause people putting raisins and apples and chocolate and all that shit.
I never understood that.
Bitter ass people.
That's some bullshit. I never understood that. Like, you never even got to reap the benefits of your own labor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you go through all that shit and you don't even get to see what happened? Like, you just like, maybe somebody might get poisoned. Like, you ain't even there to see what happened. Like, that's the dumbest shit.
Right. So what you had going on this week?
Shit. Well, let me see. Did a show last night.
Sugar was good. Corey, what up, though?
Hit a couple mics this week.
Mm-hmm.
I did some rehearsal for the play. I went to a play at Monster Box Theater in Waterford. I guess I need to plug it because I'm part of the familia there. Oh. There was a play called Hand to God. It was a puppet show, but it was an adult-based puppet show. Oh, okay. It's a puppet play. It was actually good. I ain't gonna lie. It was like really good. I liked it. It was funny. It was very good. Oh, excuse me. It was very good to see those the other actors, doing their performance. And it's as an actor watching that, and this is my real first stage thing going. Right. So it's like.
Oh yeah,
I pick up a lot of information from that. So
speaking of plays, I did go see that Snoop Dogg play Redemption of a Dog.
Oh yeah.
So for everybody that missed that when it was in town, man, it was a pretty good play. It was funny too.
Yeah.
They did a real good job. It was a real good play, man. Definitely go check that out.
I seen it too. Some bitch went live and was putting the whole thing live. The whole goddamn. Stop doing that shit.
Bootleg the damn play.
Don't bootleg the goddamn play. Enjoy the goddamn play. Right. Stop going live.
I just took a picture. I wasn't about to bootleg.
This bitch bootleg the whole thing. Money. Yeah, put some money in Snoop Dogg's pocket. Right. That shit was bullshit. Cause I'm watching the whole play and I'm like, who gonna go see it now? You know what I'm saying? I know what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna go see it now because this bitch wanted to get live. Come on, stop doing that.
But y'all know Martin coming.
Martin is this week or next week?
Martin is coming to, what is it?
Fox?
No. Not Ford Field. What's the other one? Little Caesars Arena. Martin and Friends. Okay. Martin coming to Little Caesars Arena. I am getting my tickets because I'm going to be in the place. I got to see that. So that's a reminder to y'all. Martin is coming. If you ain't never seen Martin stand up, you need to go back and watch You So Crazy or Talking Dirty After Dark or one of them, you know what I'm saying? Because Martin stand up be crazy. Hell yeah.
When he was hosting.
Hell yeah. Any of the Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, the old Def Comedy Jam hosting. But my week was pretty busy. That was kind of what it was. That was it. Getting a lot of research and reading and shit, and getting ready for topics.
Right.
Working, that's what it was.
Definitely that.
Hell yeah. So that's what this is all about for me this week. And now I'm here. I got a party tonight for a movie.
Oh shit.
Cause it ain't I got a party tonight. It's supposed to be a I guess
movie party release.
Yeah.
Am I invited? Can I go?
It ain't a release party. It's I guess a funding party. Like a cast party. We're supposed to get together. You can come.
Be some slutty actresses.
Yeah, you can come. She won't
like
people
I
to come.
am a director.
Yeah, you gotta pay $10 though.
That's fine. Shit, that's cheaper than the regular club. Pay $20.
If you want to come, then just let me know. You can come. We can roll out.
Chris. Yeah, I see. I go in there. You like, baby, I'm shooting a new documentary. I got some auditions at my house tonight.
Tonight.
After the party.
Right. 3 o'clock until.
Right. Oh, break about
like some freak shit. that's tonight. So if you wanted to come, you could come. So if you want, I was actually going to ask my sister.
I haven't checked that out. I ain't never been to an actor party. I am a former aspiring actor. You know, I was in a movie that never came out. So, story of my life.
I hate when that happens.
Trying to get this money.
I hate when that happens. You put your energy. Yeah, this shit about to come out. I'm about to have
I was all
demo reel.
Right. That's all I got is the demo reel. And I ain't got that no more. I'm like,
ain't got shit. Because motherfuckers can get the money together.
Right. And it was a straight to DVD movie too, so
damn.
Didn't even come out.
I hate when that happens. I got a project right now and I'm a part of. I don't think it's gonna be done. Yeah. I don't really think so. I hope so, but I don't think it's looking right now. I ain't heard nothing. And going on with it.
You might have to go get some funding, dog.
That ain't on me. Because that ain't my project.
So you do right now.
No, if it was my project, I'd be all over it. Mm-hmm. But it ain't. So I can't be like, hey, we can get some money for this shit. I can't do that.
Right. So let's see. What we got going? Social media news. So I guess this week in Kanye news, Kanye is getting out of politics. So no more Kanye 2020. He still said he support Trump or whatnot, but that was a whole big thing. He felt like he was being used by the young lady. I can't remember her name. You remember her name?
What young lady?
The one he was running, you know what I'm saying? He was like, he liked the way she thinks, she in politics.
I don't pay attention.
They talking about Blexit and all that. Black exit from the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Candace Owens?
Yeah, Candace Owens. That's her name. Yeah, Candace Owens. Funny thing is that if you do the research with history, all black people were Republicans first before they was Democrats. It wasn't until the Democrats offered us something to be Democrats that we changed over to being Democrats. So historically, we wasn't Democrats in the first damn place. Because Democrats wasn't giving us shit. But when they seen the Republicans was getting all the black votes, they was like, we got to get some damn, we got to get some niggas votes. So
that's crazy.
But it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But so you had that going on. My thing is this, like I said, with the whole Kanye politics situation and all that, anyway, everybody jumping down Kanye's throat about what he doing with Trump. And like I said on the last show, we had President Obama for 8 years and ain't asked for shit.
He ain't do shit for niggas.
First black president of our era. We didn't ask him for nothing. Mm-hmm. We didn't ask for reparations. We didn't ask for niggas getting the club free. Nothing. We didn't ask for nothing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is with Kanye, you know what I'm saying, trying to get something from Trump. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He trying to do something. Ain't nobody else trying to do nothing. And the thing is like, everybody criticizing him, but ain't nobody trying to join him. Say, okay, Kanye, look, your approach, we know what you're trying to do, but your approach ain't the approach that we should have. Let's switch it up. Let's go in here with a good plan and try and, you know what I'm saying, get some things for our community. But ain't nobody even doing that. Everybody, I don't fuck with Kanye, or I used to fuck with his music and all that, and I like Kanye the rapper and all that, but it's like all these people with money, the Jay-Z's, Beyonce's, and all these other people, ain't nobody coming in and trying to get nothing for Trump. Everybody talking about, we gonna be what they call it? We gonna be sandbagging, or we gonna be begging, or we gonna be cooning and all that stuff. It's like, how do you get stuff done? You gotta ask somebody for something. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta go in there begging, but you can go, Trump a businessman. You can go in there and talk business and negotiate with him, and that's what Kanye trying to do. He might not be the right person or the best person to do it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. He like you said, like we had 8 years of Obama.
8 years of President Obama.
Right. He didn't do nothing for black people.
We ain't get shit. As black people, we didn't ask President Obama for nothing.
And then we were just happy we had a black face in the office. Matter of fact, and he didn't do nothing for. And even in his book,
we didn't get a Snicker bar. President Obama ain't
He didn't
giving
give a
niggas
shit.
free candy, okay?
And even in the book, in his book, he was like, he can't say specifically what he can do for black people because it would like deter people away from voting for him.
But
so
every other president that came out and said what they can do for their people.
But he can't, and the presidency ain't gonna do nothing for black people anyway. Like that's what people gotta realize, that ain't no president gonna ever do nothing for black people to expand us.
I give you that.
They're not gonna do it.
It's
that's not the system. The system is not to uplift niggas. The system is to keep niggas down. So anybody that's gonna be a president,
right,
is gonna be, that's gonna be their agenda. So niggas gonna be like, oh, all right, Obama gave us free phones to tap you with when you're selling drugs.
Yeah, that's what we got.
You know what I'm saying? We got some free phones.
Obama, we got the Obama phone.
We got the Obama phone.
And some
he gave niggas phones and health care. He gave us health care that, ain't, but you didn't talk about Obamacare. Look at how it came about. It was like, you gotta get health care or we gonna penalize your ass with your taxes. So it was a totalitarian move. Like, nigga, you gotta get this shit or we gonna fucking tax your ass.
Right.
So even you want to talk about, oh, he gave us health care,
right.
but no,
Chris,
he forced you.
You feel me?
Yeah, he forced you to fucking have health care. What the fuck you mean he did that for you? He forced you. Just like everything else was forced on you.
Right.
So you can't say, oh, he gave us health care. No, he forced you to do this shit in order for, it was forced, or you're going to get penalized for it. So you can't say, oh, he helped us with health care. He did the reform. No, nigga, no, the fuck he didn't. That was forced. And Obamacare ain't shit. Medicaid's still better than Obamacare.
Yeah, they stripped Obamacare of what it was supposed to be anyway. We got the watered down ass version of what it was supposed to be anyway. Mm-hmm. But this is my thing. It ain't about what the president can do for blacks individually, except create policy. Policy is what's give us change. See what I'm saying? All this shit what is Trump doing in office? He creating policy after policy after policy, everything. You see what I'm saying? Like, the policy that you showed me earlier, where he's talking about, you know what? I want to change it so that if you are an immigrant and you have a child in this country, they're not automatically a U.S. citizen anymore.
That was something going on right
now.
That's
policy.
Yeah, and people, and he's being used to, and what's funny is that the reason I sent you that was because people ain't paying attention to that type of thing. They're too busy focusing on the bullshit and rhetoric. That's all the wrong shit. They using, Trump is being used. That's what people got to understand.
To further the agenda.
And every president is being used to further an agenda. Period.
Right,
and people they got to understand that shit. I did a Facebook video maybe earlier this month when I was talking about the book Propaganda by Edward Bernier, who was Sigmund Freud's nephew, and he basically was teaching politicians about how to use propaganda to persuade the people's opinion and shit.
Always.
So in the book, not even in the book, but before the book, he was talking about, people can, basically he was saying is the president is picked by 6 people in a fucking room that nobody really knows. This is before you even open the book. This is on the cover of the book, Propaganda. And this is a historical fact that people don't even fucking know.
And that's propaganda in itself, because by nobody even knowing, it intrigues people to go and look at the book and read it. Or find out if it's true or not.
Which they should, because the book will lead you to other factoids, and then the things that happen and the things that the book talk about is going to always lead to some other. It's always going to be some breadcrumbs that people got to follow. But when they telling you, hey, yo, the president is picked by 6 people because he lost the popular vote by 3 million fucking votes. So that's a big ass. That's not 12,000. That's not 1,200. That's a lot.
Right.
So you lose a popular vote and you still end up being a president, even though you lost the popular vote.
Shit, he didn't even know he won president.
Yeah.
He was somewhere at Trump Towers chilling. I won? What the hell?
So that lets you know right there that, motherfucker, your vote don't really matter in that sense, and that it comes to people behind the scenes that's going to put these motherfuckers in power.
I said a funny ass meme the other day. It was like, if it wasn't for immigration, Trump wouldn't be married. That's crazy, but it's true.
He'd still be out here fucking these hoes,
though. No wife if it weren't for immigration.
Yeah, he would still be out here fucking these hoes.
All these bitches for him.
He would get all the porn stars he could possibly get. That's shit crazy.
Porn stars and What's some damn chicks? Beauty
Waitresses?
pageant. Beauty pageant
Oh, I
chicks.
thought that you meant waitresses. You didn't grab a waitress by the pussy. Wasn't that a waitress?
Hey, but you know what?
Was that a waitress at a bar?
If you do that, that's at least you can tell that they ain't no transgender.
I know that's what it comes down to. You gotta grab her by the pussy.
Yeah,
You a sexy woman. But
everybody out here getting caught with these transgenders.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go to. That's why I don't go to Atlanta.
Nah.
No pun intended, and nothing against Atlanta, but
it's some badass nigga bitches down there.
He said nigga bitches.
It's some bad nigga bitches in Atlanta. I remember I was driving Uber. I picked up a couple of them from the airport. These niggas is like linebackers.
Hey Gary, you right. People in power did want him in office, and that's why he took it. They didn't want Hillary, of course. That's why she didn't win. Hillary was out here eating fried chicken and doing the nay-nay.
Cooning.
You know what I'm saying? And they didn't want her ass. They was like, we ain't gonna let you be the first woman president.
That's the last
little
woman.
Man.
Nah. That's the last. And people all up on Hillary and shit. Like, oh, we should have voted for that bitch.
Right, talking about,
here.
if Hillary win, it's just gonna be Bill being the president again. No, the fuck it's not.
Nah.
Hillary got a different agenda. If y'all don't understand that Hillary Clinton on her own made the decision to kill Gaddafi because what was going to happen was they were going to open a central bank of Africa using the dinar backed by gold, which would have disrupted all currency because it was backed by gold, not backed by fictitious money or fictitious population, but it was backed by gold, the gold standard. Something America left in the 60s or 70s, and that would have made 70s. Nixon took us off the gold standard.
That was Nixon was because Clinton. That's why Kennedy got killed because he was about to reissue
the gold
standard. Right. Yeah, so that's why Kennedy got killed. Right. So Nixon bitch ass came through and he forwarded their agenda. So that's more proof of the president forwarding the agenda of the bankers because, like you just mentioned, the bankers because Alan Greenspan who. I forget what position he is with the Federal Reserve.
He not a. He used to be in charge of the Feds. He's not in charge of the Feds.
But he was talking about the Federal Reserves in his interview, and he was basically like, "Yeah, it don't matter who the fuck is in power. They're gonna basically do what the Federal Reserves tell them to do." Because the Federal Reserves is the people who actually run this country. I don't know.
They actually know how much money we have to do what it is that we're trying to do.
And they the ones who run shit because it's the bankers that run this country, and then it's the bankers that are the ones who are behind this shit. They're not the top of the top, but they pawns in the game, and so they definitely are the ones who running this shit. That's why, like right now, people don't know. A lot of people don't know right now what's going on in Ireland.
Hold on, let me respond to one of.
What they say?
All right, Gary, look, it's not the Middle East that he tried to unite. He tried to unite Africa. There's no such thing as the Middle East. The Middle East is in Africa. And Africa in the Middle East of no goddamn where.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get that right. Now, he was trying to unite Africa. They've been robbing Africa of its resources for years. See what I'm saying? So if Africa, you know what I'm saying, unites and they have the number one currency in the world, guess what happens?
It's game over for the Federal Reserve.
Everybody that's been stealing from Africa, they getting cut off. Africa becomes the biggest, you know what I'm saying, world superpower at that point.
Which it truly is.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody had to take loans out from Africa or pay Africa back. Mm-hmm. All them diamonds and shit that, you know, the beers and all these different companies have been mining for years.
Killing
all the natural resources and things like that. Like, crazy.
Our physical labor, all that shit. Because Africa is the gold. Africa is the main coup de grace or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to put it that way.
So
and that's how it's always been. Like and they know it. You know, the people, the elites know that shit.
Right. And as far as like somebody said the Rothschilds. As far as like the Rothschilds, like
them is part of the bankers.
They are part of Europe's Renaissance. After we were done cleaning up Europe and all that type of stuff, the Rothschilds got into financial management and built an empire and started financing wars of other countries versus other countries, helping other countries buy weapons and things like that. That's how the Rothschilds gained their financial status.
And they funded both sides of the war. Like,
right.
They fund, like, it was a war with the Nazis. World War II was being funded by both sides. Even Daimler Chrysler was fucking, funding the Nazis. Daimler. Not Daimler. Okay, yeah.
Daimler is the company that owns Mercedes.
And they was the one. They was making the tanks here in Michigan. In Michigan, they was making the fucking tanks for the Nazis in Michigan.
Probably so. We had a bunch of tank factories
at that time.
It is very possible.
So both sides of the war was being funded, and it's still going to today. Mm-hmm. Like, you can even talk about, like, the quote unquote war on drugs.
Right.
Like, remember back in the 80s?
War on drugs.
No, the drugs came from George Bush and Oliver North.
No.
I'm talking about the drugs and the crack cocaine epidemic.
Nope.
They came with the George Bush.
It wasn't George Bush. It was Ronald Reagan.
George Bush. It was
Ronald Reagan and Oliver North. Oliver North was part of the conspiracy to bring the drugs in.
He was bringing it in. Bush was part of it too. But the first Bush, the daddy Bush, was part of it too.
It was before Bush was in office, before he was president. It was Ronald Reagan and Oliver North.
Right.
And then, you know what I'm saying, when Bush won presidency, he had his scandal.
But before he was even in office, he was already fucking with that whole situation. He was
right.
Conglomerate
because
he was in office.
Because the CIA was the one this is how it happened.
He was the head of the CIA.
Oliver North was working with the guerrillas in
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua. I was gonna say Guatemala.
Yeah.
And basically they were, you know what I'm saying, selling their drugs to fund their war.
They were funding the war.
The government didn't want nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So Oliver North took it upon himself to say, "Shit, we gonna bring this shit over here and sell it any damn way."
Right. So him and Bush put that shit together to make it to sell shit. So him and Bush was the ones putting together.
And then they got the CIA involved. And the CIA went and found Freeway Ricky Ross.
They got Ricky Ross. They got a lot of other characters.
I don't know who else they got. The Freeway Ricky Ross.
He was the main one. Yeah, he was the main.
He was the biggest.
Making $2 million a day. Mm-hmm. And then Freeway was like an illiterate person. He didn't even know how to read at the time, and he didn't even know. He didn't know nothing about it. So you gonna tell me like a dude?
Why they funded both sides of the war?
And they funded both sides of the war. And in Freeway Ricky Ross, he couldn't even read. So how's a motherfucker who can't read gonna all of a sudden turn into a chemist who know how to turn cocaine into crack? They taught him. He was taught that shit.
Oh yeah, Gary. From what I know, they saying that Hillary did it on her own. That she never got the okay to put the hit out on Gaddafi.
No,
but
that was
that's
a plan.
You know what I'm saying. But that's That's the story I got. It don't mean that it's necessarily true.
No, that's the same. I mean, it don't matter. It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing as whoever you put the hit out, because that's the same thing as Lincoln.
Put a hit out on it.
But I mean, they gonna make her the scapegoat because this plan is still the same plan. It's still the same plan that with Abraham Lincoln. Like when Abraham Lincoln, it was starting to issue greenbacks, and he came up with the Freedmen Bank, and he was starting to make our money be backed by gold as opposed to nothing, and that's why he got taken out. The same reason that Muammar got taken out. The same reason that Kennedy got taken out. The same shit. Because when you don't want to be a part of that game plan, they take your ass out. It's always the same thing, but they're going to put a different face. They're going to say, oh, Hillary did it, but now she was following suit, because it's the same shit throughout history. Right. That's going to happen.
That's why all them emails and all that other shit was being investigated. Yeah. All that. They probably told her, look, you killed Muammar, we're going to let you be the president. She was like, y'all is?
Mm-hmm. But they want to kill him anyway because he don't want to fight. Because once, and that's the game. And see, that's the consistent thing is once the people get the power back, or let's say Africa get the power back, it's game over, because then the power structure, the system that's putting everybody down, it's a wrap.
But because this is the thing, everybody fighting over this. Everybody fighting over the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because they don't know the real shit. At the end of the day,
ain't none of this money backed by shit.
It's not even backed by nothing.
That's why it's inflated. That's why you see NFL and NBA players getting $100 million contracts. Because guess what? That $100 million ain't a real $100 million. That shit worth more like $50 million. You know what I'm saying? So that's what really be going on. But when it's not until we unite as a people and decide, okay, we tired of the government and they bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That everything gonna pretty much start working itself out. Like, remember back in the day, they had like the Boston Tea Party and all that shit when motherfuckers was tired of the government fucking them, you know what I'm saying, fucking them over.
Right.
We can't have a Boston Tea Party now.
No.
You know why? Because the government will shoot our ass down. Especially niggas. But the government, that's why, you know what I'm saying, like, there wasn't no Secret Service protecting the presidents and shit back then. That's why they could get, you know what I'm saying, you could walk up to the president and punch him in the goddamn face. Like, yeah, like back in the day, you could do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he'd be walking, the president would be walking the street like a normal person. But that's why it's all these protections and stuff in place now, because they don't want to be overthrown. The government don't want to be overthrown. That's why they felt threatened by the Black Panther Party and all these other parties that are like, hey, y'all supposed to follow the Constitution. Everybody supposed to have these rights.
Right.
All this stuff is supposed to be going on.
Right.
And y'all ain't doing nothing but taxing us without representation.
Which taxing is
and taxing
anyway.
is illegal.
That's illegal anyway.
But we fear being persecuted, so we pay. And
lack of understanding and lack of knowledge, and that's kind of what it is. Like, we don't understand and what's going on. Like, when you was talking about overthrowing the people, like I was talking about Ireland, because what happened in Ireland is like back in 2014, 13, whatever. Excuse me. The people was like, yo. The government came to the people of Ireland and was like, yo, we got this debt. And the government had ran up this debt.
That privileges, that's what's popping.
And the government had ran up this debt. And then the government came to the people was like, yo, we got this debt. We going to have the people pay for it. And the people was like, bitch, fuck you. We not paying for this shit.
Right.
So they kicked the politicians out.
Good is in my country.
The people of Ireland came together and kicked the people out of government. And they replaced those people. And then the people that got replaced, they was on some fuck shit too. So they kicked them niggas out too. And then they put in their own people. And now Ireland is trying to figure out how to take care of these things without going into debt. Because most countries are in debt to, like you said, the Rothschilds and these international banking systems.
Not only that, places like China and stuff like that, borrowing billions of dollars.
Borrowing billions and trillions of dollars.
And then raising taxes to try and pay this shit back.
Constantly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, America, no, not America, the United States. Let me get this right. The United States is in debt to China, not America. We keep borrowing money.
We in hella debt.
But see, the thing is that we stopping all the immigrants from coming over here. The more people that you have working in your society, the more tax dollars you're going to make. The more money the country is going to make. You know what I'm saying? So we got all this unoccupied land in states across the country. It's like, why not? Why not bring in people and have them fill these unoccupied spaces and create jobs and cities and community and all these different things and create structure?
But the problem with the illegal immigration is the fact that they can't make money off them. Like I said, if they illegal, they don't have no Social Security card.
But that's the thing. They ain't got to be illegal. You can
install
it. I'm going to tell you like this. If you can give everybody across the country Wi-Fi, cable, all that shit, you can identify all these people, get them a number, card, Social Security, whatever the fuck you want to give them, to track them, how they working, how to tax their resources, and every fucking thing else.
Right.
You can't tell me they can't do it. You can open up a fucking border town. You can, you know what I'm saying, put them in the furthest country of wherever, and they gonna make do. But all you gotta do is put a fucking Home Depot there.
Right, but the thing is, if you're illegal in this country and you working, that means you're making money, but you're not making money for the system. So they don't really want you here because you're not making money for the system on the strength of you illegal, and they're not able to tax your ass.
But that's what I'm saying. They can give them a fucking Social Security number and tax their ass. if that's what they want to do.
If that's what they want to do. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean.
They don't want to give them citizenship.
And
but citizenship don't mean shit in the first place.
But the citizenship is what's going to make them a actual kind of like basically slave to the damn system. Basically,
everybody already a slave to the system.
But if you're illegal, you're not. So if you're this is a slave system in America. It's basically what it is.
They're not a slave system to the governmental system as a whole, but they still paying into the system because they still buying food. They're still paying bills.
Still paying that.
They still, you know what I'm saying? They still got to pay the cost of living. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But so, as an entity, like they can't be charged like me and you. Like they can't be forced to pay taxes like me and you can be forced to pay taxes because we're citizens.
But that's what I'm saying. So
they can't make that bread off it.
So that's what I'm saying. Change it.
Change it to what? Being free? Then that's fuck up the system.
Get them
citizenship.
Get them a fucked up ass social security number or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can track their ass and tax them. If that's your biggest worry, we can't tax them.
But then that's still fucked up.
But you ain't supposed to be taxing us.
You ain't supposed to be taxing us anyway. And that's the whole point. And that's the game. Like, why is you taxing motherfuckers for doing some shit that they doing anyway? Like, it's you can do hair in your basement all day. It's illegal. But if you get a license to do hair in your basement and you get a license to be a cosmetologist, now you legal. But you still doing the same shit. But it's illegal because they can't tax you. So that's the problem. Once you ain't taxable, you the problem. So they can't have motherfuckers over here not getting taxed. Because then they just making money free nelly-willy and the system ain't making no money off it. So they got
I think the government worries about how much they paying out in welfare and health care and all this different shit that they got to pay for, but it all come from our tax dollars. So I think they really be want to watch that shit because they feel like, okay, we can't skim off the top, but we paying all this motherfucking money out.
Right, they can't skim off the top. Yeah. So how they gonna skim off the top of somebody who ain't paying? They can't do it, so they don't want them here.
But that's what I'm saying.
There's nothing to skim off of if they ain't
the
paying
whole
into
country
the system.
But the whole country is built on immigration in the first goddamn place.
Right. Or rape, pillage, however you want to look at it.
The United States is built off of fucking immigration.
Rape, pillage.
Everybody that's here, ancestors came from somewhere else.
Not necessarily. Nah,
I wouldn't say ancestors didn't come from somewhere else.
Us. We was already here. What are you talking about?
We was here, but we migrated from Africa to come to here.
We was already here though. That's the thing. Black people was already here in America.
I get that right. Just like Southern natives and Northern natives. But what I'm saying is that we still migrated. We made the migration from where we was over to this motherfucker.
I'm saying like we was already here. Period. Like before. Like where is the time frame when black people started migrating over to America?
I don't fucking know.
Because we was already here. That's the thing. That's the part of history.
But I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. If Africa is a start place of evolution and everything else,
right.
When did our ancestors make it here for us to be here? Because they wasn't like they was just here.
If Africa. But then you got to go back to what they call Pangea. When you talk about Pangea, when you talk about Pangea, this is the theory of all the world was connected together at a certain point.
Right.
So if you take,
but they make it seem like there was no man at that time.
Exactly. So but they make it seem like, but we know they lie. So let's just cross out the fact that they lie.
Okay.
And understand that they lie about history.
But when you look at history and you look at how the earth changed and you had all these different periods that we couldn't have fucking lived in because we would have got our asses ate up. I mean, you know what I'm saying, 6-foot bugs and shit like that, the world being covered in water, you know what I'm saying, Cretaceous period, Mesozoic period, all these different periods like shit we couldn't have lived through. You feel what I'm saying?
Possibly.
So ain't no way like the continent, it was one big continent called Pangea. And you got dinosaurs and all these reptiles and all this shit running around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? and we was living in that shit. Like, there's no way we'd have survived. We'd have got our ass ate.
It's a
At
possible.
every turn.
But that's the thing. That's what
Everyone picking us off like mice.
But yeah, but that's the deception, because they'll tell you that shit, but they ain't gonna put all the chips in order and be like, yo, human beings been around for hundreds and thousands of years before man actually started recording time.
Well, but this is the thing. Okay, humans as we are, or Homo sapiens as we are today, we are one of the younger species. Now, there were plenty of other species that was here, you know what I'm saying, that came from wherever they came from or was derived, you know, the Pithecines and all these different, you know what I'm saying, species.
Right.
So, we don't have a time period for them. We don't have a history period for them. And then, we don't even know if we calculating time in actuality.
In reference to our time now.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't.
The time that we live on, it makes sense
up.
because it makes sense for now.
For right now.
But it may not be the actual time that they lived on then.
Right.
And that's why, like, when you hear, like, different people lived, you know, so many thousands of years, you know what I'm saying? The time had to be different. It had to be different.
Yeah, it had to be. I mean, obviously it was different because it was like it was a different time. So
that's what the whole a different time means. Think about it. That's what it means.
Yeah.
A different time means it was literally a different time.
Right.
Not as in it's a different time, 501, 505. Like, no,
it was
they
a different
calculated
era.
time and dates and everything differently, completely differently. You know what I'm saying? So a day may have been more than 24 hours. Like, a day could have been a week long.
Yeah, we don't know how long the cycle of the sun around the earth.
See, that's what we use, but they could have used something different. That's what we use now because it makes sense, night and day. But, you know what I'm saying, like I said, with all these different periods. Remember, in the solar system, certain planets were closer to Earth,
right?
Some of them were further away.
Yeah.
So that affected
the
time of day,
definitely,
and things like that.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That affected the year, the month, everything.
It changed everything. So our time frame into there. So that's a hard thing to calculate. But that's when like carbon dating come into play, and like it has.
But see, carbon dating gonna be based on time as it is now.
As it is now.
Not time as before. So everything is a guesstimate at the end of the day.
It's a guesstimate, but it is some things that have been discovered that showcase that certain things have not been
tampered with, changed.
Not tampered with and changed, but proven. Like carbon dating has proven certain things are older than what they actually are, like glaciers and shit like that.
Right.
Like certain glaciers are older than what certain people may have thought. You know, things of that nature.
Right.
And certain artifacts that have been found throughout history have been dated longer than what has been calculated for mankind to have been quote unquote known to be.
Right.
So there are like pots and pottery and like small sculptures and figurines.
So, with knowing that, like I said, and everything that's been going on, and let's get back to the politics, because we got voting coming up here on Tuesday. We got and we already had the primary, so these is we voting for state senators.
Yeah, it's the real shit here.
Governor.
Weed.
Yeah, medical marijuana. Prop 2. We voting for a lot of stuff, man. And I'm gonna tell you like this. When it comes to governmental elections and the federal government, I don't think our voice is being heard. But local elections, yes. I think we do have a big impact on local elections and the turnout of local elections. So definitely get out and vote on Tuesday. If you didn't absentee vote or anything else like that already.
But understand what you voting for. Don't just say I'm gonna vote for him because he's Democrat. And
Right?
Cute.
Don't
Like,
don't
no,
yeah, don't
understand what
yeah.
you're voting for.
Read what you're voting for. Don't vote to say I voted. Like actually read what you're about to vote for. The proposal or whatever that they're trying to do. Don't just excuse me. What up though, Shamir? Yeah, don't just vote, you know what I'm saying, just because you want to say you voted and you think you did something. Like
get you a sticker.
Read and have an understanding of what you voting for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you might vote the wrong way and like fuck everybody over or something, you know what I'm saying? You might vote, well, I'm voting because I like this, and you know, you done voted to bring back slavery in Michigan and shit, and we all fucked up because you know, you didn't read and you just voted.
Yeah, because most people don't read shit anyway. They just vote. Oh, I'm gonna go out and vote just to say they get.
And don't vote for somebody that's out there shucking and jiving and cooning, trying to win the black vote. Black people, we give our vote away too goddamn easy. I don't care if they doing the nay, the hammer, motherfucker eating fried chicken on top of an Escalade in the middle of the goddamn hood. Don't vote for their ass. That don't mean shit. Oh, they down for black people. No, they not. They cooning for blacks and they want the black vote. So stop giving motherfuckers your vote that ain't doing shit for you. That's the first thing that we always do in politics. We give a motherfucker our vote who ain't doing shit for us. They just come to the hood like Nino Brown, give out some motherfucking turkeys and shit, do the hammer dance, and moonwalk their ass up out the hood, and now they got all the goddamn votes.
That's how it always
As soon as the election come, you be like, well, I thought they was going to... No, they ain't do shit for us. They ain't giving us a motherfucking thing. So let's stop voting for people that ain't doing shit for us. You know what I'm saying? We let Rick Snyder get in the office. Rick Snyder ain't do shit for us. You know what I'm saying? He took away all the tax incentives that would have brought businesses and films and all those things in Michigan. Cut that shit down. We ain't had a movie in Michigan since.
No, we have. We got quite a few movies in Michigan.
I mean, come on, dog. Look how...
it could have been more.
Look at all the movies that were supposed to be here versus when he cut that motherfucking tax.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Oh, I agree with that totally. It's been movies made, but not...
That's what I'm saying. It would have been abundance of more.
Abundance
it would have been a lot more actors from Michigan making it.
Because they had more opportunity.
Yeah, more opportunity.
And this is, I mean, this
is going to be the new goddamn Hollywood.
And that's the thing. Like, when you look at, like, when you talk about that, you look at, like, Atlanta. Atlanta got, I think, like
everything.
40 to 50% of...
The Walking Dead could have been filmed in Pontiac.
Yeah, damn it. But that shit was something that, you know, that's money. A lot of the production is taken away from California and LA, and it's going to like Mississippi, Toronto, Atlanta, and you know some of these places who are giving incentives to you know people to come. Because I mean, you got to give people a reason to come to your shit. That's economics number one.
You got to make a film that's budget friendly. And ain't gonna tax the hell out of the studio. They're like, oh, we can keep going here and making movies. So hopefully somebody get in office and put some shit back in place.
Yeah, but that's what they gotta be because
April, it ain't about being goddamn greedy. It's about being fair.
I mean,
stop giving your vote up to motherfuckers ain't doing shit for you. That's like that's the equation of women giving up pussy to niggas that ain't worth it. Feel me?
Yeah, it is.
You keep getting this bum ass nigga the pussy and he ain't worth it. And you ain't getting nothing. You ain't even getting you ain't even getting an orgasm. You know what I'm saying? But every time that nigga come over, he shuck and jive, he do the nay-nay, buy you some Popeyes or something, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, he down for me, girl, and you give him the pussy, and he still don't do shit for you. That bill pop up, and nigga,
that nigga pop out.
You know what I'm saying? A couple dollars you be trying to get,
right?
You can't even get your nails done. I ain't got it. He promised you that though. That's what he sure promised you.
And that's the fucked up part, because that's
how
like,
black people are in politics. But we don't. Ice Cube made a song.
Yeah. Buy
me a politician.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to buy no politician because that's what everybody else doing. Big companies buying politicians. Yeah. We don't pool our resources and try and buy nothing. You know what I'm saying? And we wonder why we get fucked over all the time. We ain't supporting nobody. We are supporting people, but we not asking them for shit in return. It's like, here, take my vote, fuck me over. royally. Oh, you want me to bend over? Because I'll bend over. Yes, fuck me. Because that's what we do every time we go out and just hand our votes to motherfuckers who don't do shit for us. We don't ask for shit. We don't get shit. And we fine with it. We fine with not asking the president for shit, not asking the governor for shit, not asking the state senators for shit. Like, how did Flint happen? Because nobody asked for shit. It wasn't until the public started to notice that the water was fucked over and did something about it that the whole spotlight got shared on Flint. Because they went to the government, they went not only to their local municipalities, they went to the fucking government, state government, and complained. And they shitted on them for a long time. And then as soon as what happened? As soon as Snyder came up for re-election and all that shit, what they do? We got to get help for Flint. We got to get water down to Flint. We got to get resources to Flint. It was all about motherfucking Flint. After Snyder got his ass re-elected, what happened? Y'all ain't hear shit about Flint again, did you? Nope. What y'all hear? Oh, the state government can't call, we can't afford to keep supplying water to Flint. Why not? Michigan is a state surrounded by water.
But at the end of the day, the problem is, and this the main problem, is time and time again, like you just mentioned Snyder, you just mentioned all this shit with politicians not basically living up to their promises. And that's the problem, is like, motherfuckers keep promising shit and we keep believing these motherfuckers.
Right. Politicians.
Instead of, hold on, let me go.
Oh, go ahead.
So the problem is niggas keep believing this shit and keep falling for the okie doke. And you don't see clear as day that these motherfuckers do not have your best interest at hand. And that's the whole point. Like, all this shit, all these politicians shucking and jabbing, whatever, boom, 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 doing and that, all this bullshit. Ain't none of these motherfuckers at the end of the day doing shit for none of us. And that's the reality of the situation. They putting us in a situation where we're still not accelerating on the economic level as a people. And I'm talking to my people, black people specifically, because we go out there and we support Democrat, boom, 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 not even knowing the issues and shit like that. Right. Just gung holding and people at large,
Democrats or Republicans.
Shit for us. But I'm saying, like, black people sitting here, what they gonna do for us is clear as day. They ain't gonna do shit for you. They ain't gonna do nothing to help you.
They want your vote.
And when you look at what's going on, they doing shit to actually fucking kill us. When you look at what's going on, when you look at the water is not that good. They got fluoride and all this shit in this poisonous. You look at the food is not even edible. Some of this shit is not even, other countries is banning some of the shit that we got. Y'all talk shit about Russia, but these motherfuckers Putin banned GMOs. He banned all these pesticides and shit that we put in our food. He banned that shit from his country. But our country is allowing these things to proceed. So while you talk about what we can get from this motherfucking, politician, this, that, and the third, they killing us at the same time. And then at the same time, y'all still missing the fact that these motherfuckers ain't gonna do shit for none of us. And you gotta do what we gotta do for ourselves. Stop depending on these goddamn politicians who continually prove they ain't gonna do shit for you. Like, what, we keep falling for the okie doke. Yeah, this person gonna do it. They gonna get in office. It's the same story. We back these motherfuckers. They hype us up. They get in office. And they don't do shit. And we keep doing the same shit. And they keep fucking us over. We so goddamn dumb. We sitting here arguing over Democrat, Republican. But at the end of the day, neither one of these motherfucking factions is doing anything for any of us to make us better. And they continually allow bullshit to happen to us and kill us. And this is a constant thing that keeps going on.
We need to take our vote back.
And in the reality of the situation, to stop depending on these motherfuckers because they ain't doing shit for us.
But that's what I'm saying. They made us dependent on a handout. The first thing that a black woman is taught in the neighborhood and all that stuff is what?
Welfare. We getting in
welfare.
Yeah,
the handout. Welfare. The handout. The first thing she taught. She ain't taught how to cook. She ain't taught how to clean. She ain't taught how to be a woman, how to be a wife. She taught if you get pregnant, go get on welfare. You know what I'm saying?
Let the government take care of it.
Yeah, look for the government handout.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my thing. I'm not knocking you for getting the government handout, but what I am knocking you is for not having the ambition to want to get away from the government handout. Like, why do you want to sit for years and years and years on this government handout and never aspire to do anything great with your life?
That's the point.
Then you teach your daughters and your sons
to do the same
thing.
Right. Because that's the game. That's the game. That's the game.
And we think, and you think that having low income rent and the little, you know what I'm saying, food stamps and all that stuff they give you is living.
You winning.
At the end of the day, that's not living. That's not winning. If the government was to default a loan or anything like that and go bankrupt, guess what? You ain't got shit. You got a motherfucking thing coming. And they don't owe you shit. And you can't say nothing to them. You can't go crying to them, why y'all cut me up? None of that. None of that. But you dependent on these resources. And as African Americans, we have to stop being so dependent, you know what I'm saying, on that government handout. And I'm specifically talking about, you know what I'm saying, with the welfare and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you a soldier, you went to war, or you was born disabled, or, you know what I'm saying, things like that, and, you know what I'm saying, you can't hold a regular job or anything like that and provide for yourself or your family. I get it. We're going to need the government handout. You know what I'm saying? But you deserve it. But there's a lot of people that just don't want to get their ass up and do anything, and they're not trying to. And they're like, oh, I ain't finished school, and I ain't. That's your problem. You the one that didn't finish school. You know what I'm saying? So don't put those, you know what I'm saying, those boundaries on your children and stuff like that and make them believe that they can't succeed and they can't be better because you don't want your kids to upstage you. And I see a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's sick. It's sick that, you know what I'm saying, like, family would talk down and hate on other family members that's doing better because they don't want to see them succeed because they didn't succeed. I would rather my kids do better than me in life, period, than to ever go through some of the things I had to go through or experience some of the things I had to experience. You know what I'm saying? And I would never hate on that. If they never had to live in the hood and see people getting shot, stabbed, killed, robbed, and all that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I would love it. But that ain't the society we live in. But back to the political aspect, man. As black people, we got to start being more decisive and divisive when it comes to giving out our votes. You know what I'm saying? Stop running down there voting just to say you voted. Use some kind of common sense and knowledge when you do vote. You know what I'm saying? And start getting involved. We got to get more involved in politics, man. We're not going to get anything. We're not going to get anything. Prince, I see you. I've done a little bit of research into that. We'll talk.
What that nigga say?
Prince talking about nationality. Talking about more science temp.
Oh, that shit. Hey, you got the bathroom key?
So that's what we gotta stop doing, man. We gotta build. We gotta build in our own communities. We gotta start letting belief systems draw that line between us. Because at the end of the day, we all, you know what I'm saying, are African people. You know what I'm saying? So based on your religion and all this, it don't mean shit. If we not working together as a community and bringing each other together and building each other up, we can't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? We can't be separate. We got to be together. So I'm hoping that, you know what I'm saying, I'll touch some people tonight on that. And people think more about, you know what I'm saying, not just their future, but their kids' future, man. If you're an adult living right now and you got children, you should be thinking about your kids' future. You shouldn't be thinking about you getting that new outfit and all that type of stuff. Like, you should be really like, okay, what do my kids need? How can I help them better succeed? How can I help my kids not have to work so hard to get ahead in life? You know what I'm saying? A lot of us didn't have that. A lot of us growing up in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have that. We didn't have our parents teaching us financial literacy. We didn't have our parents teaching us the ways to survive in the world necessarily. A lot of us was pacified or kept in the dark about things, you know what I'm saying, that once we got older and, you know, we didn't have that understanding. So, definitely, man, I just need y'all to definitely focus on the future. Because these kids right now, like, kids in these generations, like, they technically advanced, which is a good thing, but they're not using everything in the proper way. Like, they know how to use cell phones and tablets and all that type of stuff, but none of them are going and looking up facts on Google and things like that about their ancestry. They're not going and looking up things about coming up with a business plan and having their own business and working for themselves and things like that. They're not looking up things, you know, that they need to be looking up. Most kids is watching cartoons or they're watching the latest rap video and music. They can tell you all the words to a song. They can't tell you nothing about their own history. And that ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Half of us don't even know our own family history. Like, literally, like, you know your mama, your daddy, your cousins, and your aunties, and you don't know nobody outside of your family after that.
Shit, that's more than half.
You know what I'm
because
saying?
you gotta think about, like, that's part of the programming basically is to take us away from who the fuck we are as a people in the first place. And that's why we are as a people fucked up. Because we don't go back and we don't trace our lineage and we don't, and even in spite of our lineage, the history of our people is in its totality.
Right.
Because when you do some research on this,
bro? I see you.
when you do some research on these type of things and you kind of like research after you research Egypt, all this shit like that, you understand that the knowledge that we had in Africa is being used in today's modern society. Like when you look at the whole basis of the American system is in a lot of aspects fucking our shit. Honestly, look at the back of your fucking dollar bill. It's a fucking Egyptian fucking pyramid on that bitch. Right. You know, the whole system is our shit as a black race, and we don't even understand this shit because we too busy going to church, praying, and all that shit, not getting educated, continuing to be ignorant, and how's that gonna feed my family? You dumb bitch. You will understand that to feed your family, it'll put food on your table, because if you understand that the knowledge is the power, you can pass that shit down to your goddamn kid so your kid can realize you're not a fucking slave. You're more than that. And then your kid can be like, hey, yo, bitch, I'm a king. I can be a fucking doctor. I can be a fucking lawyer. I can be a fucking, you know what I'm saying, anthropologist. I can be so much greater than a goddamn rapper or a fucking entertainer or, you know what I'm saying, a stripper bitch who got to shake her ass on goddamn Instagram to make money. I'm more than that. Bitch, I'm a king, I'm a queen. So when you educate your kids on who the fuck you are, what you mean, how this gonna feed my family? Bitch, this gonna feed your family for generations. What the fuck are you talking about?
But that's what I'm saying, lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Lack of knowledge.
So we got lack of knowledge.
If you're not researching your you know what I'm saying, your own family history or researching your lineage or anything else. Right. You don't know where you came from.
And we don't.
So you can't give that knowledge to your kids. No. Now, everybody might not be able to trace their lineage back to Africa or whatnot.
Because it's been stolen from us.
But some people can't even trace their lineage right here in this country. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, my thing is to people, like, give your kids more than the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? More than all the toys and clothes and gifts that they want. Give them some knowledge.
Get some knowledge.
You know what I'm saying? Knowledge itself.
Knowledge
When we go to these American schools and we grow up and we're taught this American history, it never builds up our people.
Because it's not meant to.
Everything is taught in a way that makes you revert back to, but our ancestors were slaves. Mm-hmm. It's like, George Washington Carver invented automobiles, the peanut, and all these other great inventions. Right. But
they don't talk about Amenhotep.
It's always a bet. It's always a but.
Right.
his ancestors were slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, we always been more than everything. You have to teach your kids about what our people did in Africa. You have to teach them about Mali. You have to teach them about Egypt.
Right.
You have to teach them about
Songhai Empire. You got to teach them about Kush.
And Kush.
You got to teach about all this shit.
You have to teach them that, you know what I'm saying, our lineage, where we come from, and that we are a superior people.
Period. I mean, like, and that's part of the problem, because people don't educate. You know what I'm saying? We're not educating ourselves on this shit. So we got a bunch of people who, you know, we look at our people nowadays and we all fucked up and all this shit because we have lack of self-knowledge. And then on top of that, we don't even pay attention to the people. This the fucked up part, because we don't pay attention to Dr. Ben. We don't pay attention to Dr. Clark. We don't pay attention to Steve Coakley. We don't pay attention to motherfucking what's his, Ivan Van Sertima. We don't read books like that. We don't read Dr. York's book, because niggas is not put that shit is not in the curriculum of, you know, the oppressors, you know,
Right.
curriculum. It's not in there. So they're not going to educate you on how great you are. So we as a people are failing our own people. Like, our ancestors have failed us because they didn't be like, hey, yo, something fucked up here. Let me put my kids up on game and what's really popping. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a continual generation mind fuck until our people start waking up and realizing, hey, yo, we got to tap into who we are as a people in order to beat this shit. Because it's evident as fuck that the system is continually putting the foot on our neck. So when you talk about the problem in the solution, you gotta obviously look at the problem. And when you look at the problem, there is the solution. Because you look at the problem is we are psychologically being destroyed, being misled psychologically on a constant basis, us, my brothers and sisters, black people, on a constant basis being fucked with on a psychological realm. So obviously we got to get that shit, reverse that shit, and become more psychologically and spiritually aware of who the fuck we are, because it's so many weapons to keep us psychologically weak. If we don't educate how to debunk that shit, we gonna continuously fall into the same fucking pattern.
The first thing we got to do is stop the division, man. It's gonna start with that.
In that education,
stopping the division.
Yeah.
Once we stop hating each other and hating each other because somebody got more than we got and all this, you know what I'm saying, superficial stuff.
This nigga light skinned.
You know
Stop hating on light skinned niggas, man. Them niggas is our niggas too, man. Stop hating on these light skinned niggas.
Once we get past the division of each other and the jealousy of each other, and we can come together and build as one, you know what I'm saying, then we can be a stronger nation of people. Yeah, and that's what, and like you said, because that is what has been used to conquer us. It's always the same fucking game. It's always the same. It's always the same. It's like when we was talking about the bankers coming in and putting the country in debt. It's the same fucking program. It's divide and conquer. People stop being fucking stupid. It's always the same fucking shit. They divide you. Hey, you light skinned, you dark skinned. That light skinned nigga's better. Oh, you Christian, you Muslim, you're Christian, you better. They got all these goddamn systems to divide and conquer. You're gay, you're straight, you're better. All this bullshit ass nigga. So fucking what? If a nigga want to suck a dick, suck all the dicks you want. But suck the dicks on the goddamn. Do you? You know what I'm saying? If that's you, do you. I'm just saying, like, I say that blatantly because of sexuality. But I'm saying, I get where you're going.
I'm saying if that's what you want to do, if that's who you are, be who you are. Don't be a nigga who want to suck dick and you really fucking like dudes and you out here faking it, being with women. Nah, go suck all the dicks you want to suck. But the society has made it to where you can't be who you should be and who you are. So you have to fit this mold of what the fuck society tell you to be. That's not who you are. Because there are people who just, for some reason, like the same sex. And I don't think they should be persecuted for that. They shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Why? Go do you. Because what the fuck do that guy do with me? Nothing. So when you make a big hoorah out of somebody who like the fucking same sex, it's just creating all the separation unnecessarily. What's the point? It don't even fucking matter. If you like a girl, you like a girl, fuck it. Go like a girl. Whatever the fucking case may be. So, that's the divide and conquer. It don't have nothing to do with me. If a nigga want to get his ass blasted, go get your ass blasted. I don't give a fuck. It ain't my ass. You know what I'm saying? Go. But what the fuck do that got to do with me? But I'm just saying that divide and conquer.
I feel you.
Yeah. So they use the divide and conquer for some bullshit. Unite, people. Fuck all the differences. We are all the same human race. We are the same human race. And stop using these. They put these divisive things. But it didn't came down to food either.
But let's bring it. You know what I'm saying?
What time is it? Oh.
It's 51.
I want to say.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to a direct point. The point of the matter is, and this show kind of went. I think we went a lot. We went very political. Some topics that we probably should have covered today, we didn't. But that's neither here nor there. I'd rather give you food for thought than to tell you about the latest celebrity gossip and all that stuff any damn way. So, and point, man, we as a people, you know what I'm saying? People, as African Americans in this country, and until we start working together to build our community and stop letting the little issues about belief systems, religions, he stole my jacket when I was a little kid and all that type of stuff divide us, we'll become a greater people. We'll become a stronger people.
Definitely.
If we're only, supposed to be 5% of the population, but we have the most buying power, that tells you
we are
a lot.
Strong as fuck.
That tells you
a fucking lot.
And hold on.
13% of the population in America, right?
But this is the thing.
Like
they're not even counting the population of Africans as a whole.
Right,
you see what I'm saying? So if this small percentage of people has the most buying power in this country, and we could literally, if we didn't buy anything for about a week, we could damage the economy as a whole. Why do you think during Bush Jr.'s presidency, he gave us the stimulus package? Because he knew we was going to go out and spend that money.
To boost the economy.
He knew that we were going to go out and spend that money. Nobody put the money up in a safe or, you know what, I ain't going to spend this little $600 ain't nothing. Everybody went out and spent it. And he knew. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was at the mailbox waiting on that check.
Waiting on that stimulus check.
You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing, man. We quick to take the government handout. We quick to not get anything for our votes. We quick to not get anything for anything that we do as a people. And it's not going to be until we take ourselves more serious as a people and start focusing on our community like everybody else. We always get mad at the Asians. They only fuck with the Asians. The Mexicans only fuck with the Mexicans. It's a reason for that because they put community first.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. It's not that they don't fuck with you or they won't fuck with you. It's just they're like, yo, I need to make sure my people are taken care of first before I give you a job.
And that's the thing. Like we don't do that. We don't do that, but we need to look at history and see where when we did do that. And like when you was talking about the stimulus package, you go back to the '60s. Like you go back to the Depression and all that shit. Part of that was because they wouldn't get no nigga dollars. Because the economy wasn't allowing us to fuck with them. They had blacks only, whites only restaurants and whites only bathrooms. And all that hatred. And you're right. And so that whole segregation fucked up the economy for America. And once they realized that hatred was fucking up the economy for America, they were like, yo, we got to do something. And Reagan this was before Reagan was the actual president. He was I think congressman or whatever the fuck. He was doing a speech when he was talking about how bad the economy was at the time and that we needed to make a change in the economy. So that's when all this whole segregation shit started to come. The civil rights movement came about because people got to realize, yo, we was good as fuck as black people because the dollar stayed in the black
In the
area.
community.
And because the simple fact that the black dollar stayed in the black community, the black people was good. And then, white people was like, yo, we done fucked up and gave these niggas power.
And that's what
fucked up.
That's what started the
And
myth.
that's what started.
That's the first thing that we do. We're
Right.
right to purchase something from somebody outside our community
Right.
rather than purchase from another black person because we think they're trying to get over.
Right.
We think that their products ain't as better as the white man's product, and things like that. All these false narratives have us
Ain't
looking
even
at each
true.
other funny.
Looking at each other funny.
When if you understand, like I worked in the grocery business for a number of years, and just like places like Kroger and all these other places, like they all get their resources from the same places.
Mm-hmm.
They all get their resources from the same places. They all get their meats from the same places, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But because they sticker look better and the meat a little bit more frozen, you think that a Kroger steak is better than a Save Plus steak. When they really come from the same motherfucking butcher.
Same goddamn butcher,
You see
same
what I'm
goddamn
saying?
cow.
So at the end of the day, like I said, we got to look past the false narratives that was fed to us as black people about each other. You know what I'm saying? Some black people are out to fuck people up or each other.
Some people are, period.
That's just people. That's just people.
Some people
though.
are shitty. We have
That's just
shitty people
You know
in
what I'm
life.
saying? And you can
Yeah.
find that in every community.
Yeah.
But we can't, you know what I'm saying, not support each other and then run to go give these other people our money, and that money ain't coming back to our community.
It's not coming
it's
back
leaving
to
our community.
Leaving
And then we
community.
wonder why our kids don't have community
Schools,
centers
right.
and good books in their school and, you know what I'm saying, teachers that are willing to, you know what I'm saying, teach the kids because, they care about the kids. We get these teachers that's trying to make a buck and they don't care whether your child learn or not.
But the kids, I mean,
And that starts with the community though.
Right.
It starts because we let it happen.
but
We
see,
not on the city council ass.
Right,
We not
right.
on the school board ass about the quality of education. We let them take our little tax dollars and do what the hell they want. They putting systems and shit in the school to say they installed it, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and the kids can't even touch that shit. Projectors and shit like that, and the kids can't even touch it. Kids can't even fucking, watch a movie or anything on all this new equipment they put in these schools. So how is that benefiting us? How is it benefiting our kids? How is it benefiting our community? It's not.
But that's the thing. We got to realize that as a whole, that they not gonna do nothing to benefit our people as a whole. So
No, I'm saying us. I'm saying we in the city of Pontiac. We are not holding the school board, the city council, or anybody
Right.
accountable for what they doing with our money and what they doing
No,
in our
nobody is
schools.
doing it. Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? They quick to send you something in the mail talking about pay your Pontiac city taxes.
Right, right.
But the city ain't doing its job
Its
when it
job.
comes to educating
Right,
the kids.
Yeah, because and part of that is because, I mean, the system is not really going to be built up. How many Pontiac schools is it even in existence right now?
Elijah, you right.
How many Pontiac schools is even in existence right now?
We've
Pontiac.
got maybe like 6 schools altogether.
It was abundance when we was kids, though. It was a hell of a lot more than
Well,
6.
the population was bigger because we had jobs here. Once
Yeah, we
General
had
Motors
jobs
shut
here.
down
That's
truck and
another
bus
thing,
and
too.
all
Right,
that,
right, yeah.
the economy dropped because that was the tax base for the city of Pontiac.
Mm-hmm.
That was the tax base.
Right, but it ain't. But even Detroit, it ain't no schools there.
There's plenty of schools in
I mean, like not as many. Schools are
Second
shutting
rate. It ain't as
down.
many schools as the world, but Detroit had too
Yeah.
many schools to begin with.
They had a lot of schools, but they had
over like 3,000 schools or some crazy shit.
But I mean, but the school system at large, basically, is not the school system at large is not a school system that is going to be a school system that is going to be beneficial for the basically development of I want to say black people, but period, because the school system at large is going to be a system that's going to create you to be
You got
a
a
slave
point, Elijah
to-
Gatlin.
it's going to be the school system is going to be creating a particular curriculum or basically indoctrinating you into working a certain way because it doesn't teach you Our schools don't teach us, hey, yo, you need to be a business person. You need to, you know what I'm saying? They don't teach independent progression. It teaches you to basically work for somebody else. That's what the school system basically teaches. So it's going to fail you anyway. So we got to get these educational, diplomas. We got to get, college, diplomas and all that shit. We got to get the education. But aside from that, we need to educate our kids on what's not being taught in, the school system. As opposed to independent, individuality.
Yeah, don't look for the school system.
So we can't look for the school system to educate your kids. And so and that's part of the failure that we as a society do. We expect, especially black people, we expect the oppressor to give us power. That don't even make sense.
We expect for
that don't even fucking make sense.
The schools to babysit our kids.
Yeah.
Teach them a little something. Our kids to accept that and get good grades and pass and all that stuff. And we're not teaching our kids at home that, hey,
we're not.
It's
more than just shit at school.
Yeah.
But you gotta
life not only life skills, but you know what I'm saying, entrepreneurships and other different ways to achieve the same goals.
Family history.
Right.
We don't teach outside of that because we can't, like I said, we can't depend on the system that has blatantly destroyed us to heal us. It's impossible. It's a mind fuck to even think that. So we gotta understand, hey yo, this is a system. So we gotta operate it, but I'm gonna give you game that they not gonna give you because on the strength of, aside from all that bullshit, you're gonna need this to be able to operate in the real world. So
all the book knowledge in the world, you know what I'm saying, is not gonna help you when it comes to the real world.
Book knowledge is important because
it is, but
independent book knowledge, not the book knowledge that they teach us. If you get the book knowledge outside of what is in their curriculum, you will grow. But their book knowledge is going to keep you into a certain way of thinking. But when you step outside of that particular book knowledge, you will grow because that's where the knowledge is.
Yeah, no, but this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. We have to show the importance of life experience as well. That's why all these companies, when they hire, they say, hey, we want 2-3 years experience. We don't want somebody fresh out the books. You see what I'm saying? So it's good to have that college degree, but you also need the life experience to back it up. You need the job experience to back it up.
Right.
And we don't look at that. And that's the thing, like, I'm on my kids, like a lot of people like, you shouldn't talk to your kids about that kind of stuff now. That's over their head. No, I have conversations with my kids now about what do you want to do with your future? How do you want to achieve your education? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to trade school? Do you want to go into real estate? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Like, I'm sparking those ideas in my kids now because the thing is that I didn't have that. I thought I was going to play sports, get a scholarship, all this type of stuff. I want my kids to know that there's more than one way to achieve the same goals. If you want to be rich, there's more than one way to be rich. You don't have to go and get a 4-year degree, put yourself in debt, only to slave harder to get out of debt before you actually become rich. Wealthy. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And I'm glad you said that scholarship shit about you playing sports because that's a part of that's part of the okie doke that they implant in our mind. It's a constant that you got to be an entertainer, you got to be a sports star in order to be something as a black person. That's a bullshit ass indoctrination that has been implanted, but they don't, and that's why they don't teach us about all the great black people in school. In school they talk about black history. They always come to Martin Luther King, but they don't go to all the great black inventors throughout history. They don't go through Egypt, and they don't tell you about how in Egypt, when you look at the Pharaoh Amenhotep, who was Amenhotep was the nigga who was basically the father of modern day medicine. He knew shit that they are doing still to this day. People are taking the Hippocratic Oath. Doctors are taking the Hippocratic Oath. But even, Hippocratic. But when they take the Hippocratic Oath, I forget his name. I lost it right now. But when they take the Hippocratic Oath, he accredited all his knowledge to the Egyptians. He flat out said it, that this knowledge came from the Egyptians. So they taking the Hippocratic oath, but they should be taking the Amotepian oath, because Amotep is the one who was the dawn of all this, knowledge. Right. So,
but this is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, like as black people, we know, okay, you can be an entertainer, you can be a sports star, you can be a rapper, singer, whatever the case is. The thing is that if that's what they gonna give us, what we need to do is still educate ourselves. If you're gonna make millions of dollars as a rapper, then you should take some of that money, get you a degree, you know what I'm saying, and educate yourself. Or if you don't even get a degree, just still educate yourself as a person for knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that we don't do. It's like, hey, yeah, you're going to go to the NBA and make this money, but guess what else you got? You got a free ride, a free education. Get that education that they're giving you while you can get it, because tomorrow ain't promised. What if you get injured in basketball or football or whatever? Right. You ain't got that degree no more. You're not going to get, you know what I'm saying, the money to pay for that education. So get that free education. Yeah. And we don't push that enough. We push, oh, he's so good, she's so good, they need to go to NBA or WNBA, or they need to do this, they need to do that. Right. And you know what I'm saying, we got to stop pushing that agenda. I understand. Yeah, that's like the people point. Living in poverty and things like that, they want to get their family out of that, but also make sure you get that education. You know what I'm saying, because that education speaks volumes even for life experience. And you notice now most athletes are building their brands. They're becoming businessmen and businesswomen. They're building, you know what I'm saying, in their communities, and they're doing more. But without education behind that, they can't do anything, you know what I'm saying? They can't do anything more. You know, if you just some, dumb athlete, get a deal, you blow your money, booze, drugs, women, all that type of stuff, or men for the women, or whatever the case is, and you ain't got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean,
we have to change that. We have to change that narrative. We have to change that cycle.
And part of that cycle is understanding that like you said, entertainment.
What's up, Chris?
Athletics.
I ain't giving you no fake hello.
Like all those things are like systematic programs to, make us think that this is all we can be. And people don't understand that's an actual program set up to destroy us. Because if you good, and I'm an actor, I'm an entertainer talking this shit. So I kind of know a little bit about what the fuck I'm talking about, because on the strength of I am doing this shit, but I'm doing this shit with the understanding of, this is a part of the system set up to keep people from building businesses. Because if you take a black person, you take a black man, and you put his intentions on being a rapper as opposed to being a veterinarian, you winning for a system built to destroy keep the consciousness and destroy the black race, which we obviously know that's happening. So we got to understand that these are weapons set up against our psyche to go towards these things, as opposed to going towards being a doctor or a engineer and things of that nature. It's a systematic way of persuading us to go towards those directions. And I'm not saying, we shouldn't be actors, we shouldn't be, because we dope as shit at these things, but we need to understand at the same time that we are more than just that. And a lot of people think that, too many of us think that, I gotta be a rapper, I gotta be a drug dealer in order to make it, because our family structure has been broken down. Right. So the family structure was broken down, and they replaced the father basically. When you look at the Woodland system, the father was taken away, and it was replaced with entertainers. So you gotta be a Mac, like, Max Julian. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they implanted these indoctrinations to convince us black people that this is who you are, and this is what you need to do in order to make it. And if we don't understand, that is a systematic way of, bringing us down. We're going to continue to, And so if we don't realize and understand, see, I understand it, and that's why I do what I do, because I'm an entertainer, I do what I do, but I'm an entertainer who is trying to bring some type of light into the situation as to what we're going through, and I have an understanding of what we're going through.
Right.
So we need to wake up from that. And I'm not saying, yo, don't be a rapper, but do it with the understanding of what hip hop is. Understand what hip hop is, as opposed to just doing what this is. Understand what the game is, because the game is more than what it is. It's a whole psychological thing. There's a lot of shit going into it. So I say go into whatever you do with the understanding of what you do, and go into it capitalizing and monetizing it to benefit you, so that we can pass that down on to our children, because it does us no benefit to do something, put our energy into something, and our children cannot benefit from it. Right. We need to be back to where we were when we were Black Wall Street, when we were Rosewood, when we were all these black, prominent businesses back in the early 1900s, black businesses making good money and within the community, when we were able to make money from our own people and keeping that tight. Right. That's who we are. Right. We're not this just rappers grabbing our nuts, calling our women hoes and bitches. We is that. You know what I'm saying? So we need to understand the whole totality of that whole dynamic in getting the education. And it always boils down to education. Right. Because that's what it's all about. Like I said,
it's not taught in American schools, so it needs to be taught. It needs to be taught in the home.
In the home. Because you can't depend on them to teach you, because it's in the home. So we as a people need to teach and educate ourselves, because we're so behind as a people as to where we should be.
We're not behind. We just living in a daze, because, like I said, we look for the wrong things to validate us.
And that's why we
look
behind.
For status. We look for status and wealth and things like that to validate us as a people. When just being African is validation in itself. Mm-hmm. But it's not enough validation for everybody.
No,
everybody
it's not.
Has to have more than the other, or whatever the case may be. This is probably the start to a series of talks that we're gonna have about the African American community, things that we need to do in the African American community to rebuild, help ourselves, remove ourselves from the struggle, stop dumbing ourselves down, stop going against one another.
Stop fighting. We gotta love. Stop killing niggas, man.
It's just a lot. It's a lot to cover, and we can't cover it all the time in just the 2 hours that we had. But this is episode 6.
What time is it?
Season 1, Dome City Radio Show. I am your host, DJ Stacks Money. You can find me on Facebook at DJ Stacks Money, or you can find me at Steve Brown on Facebook. My Instagram is DJ Stacks Money on Instagram. Follow me, check us out. You can find the podcast on Anchor FM. Like, support it, share it. On Anchor FM, you can also donate to the podcast if you like listening to the, our voices and the messages that we bring and the funny that we bring every week, and what we're trying to do here. Definitely support. You can support with a weekly or monthly donation of 99 cents up to $9.99.
Or daily. You give me money daily.
Man, we're going to take cash out.
So,
we need the money.
I had a friend, she did Cash App, and she sent the money to the wrong person. I literally was like, that shit can't happen. Like, that was some bullshit. That'll never happen. But she was like, she called me, and she was like, yo, can you call this person? Because I accidentally sent money to her Cash App and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, it's a real thing. Like, it can't happen. Like, I was like, that shit can never happen. Like,
you gotta watch the buttons.
You gotta,
go ahead and sign off.
Cash App and Star Sponsors, give us some money, because we just dropped their name like 7 times.
Right. Cut the check. So, but that's our show. So we'll see y'all in about another week. Thank y'all for tuning in. Dome City Radio Show. DJ Stacks Money, comedian Jeremiah Paulin.
Comedian.
You doing any comedy tonight?
No, tonight, I'm going.
Tonight he going to a industry party.
Yeah, I'm going to the industry party.
I might go with him.
It's in I do want to plug it right quick, so she can't say I didn't invite nobody. So if I plug it on the podcast, it'll definitely be a plug. I'm trying to find it. Damn. Now, where's my shit? I'm not good with Facebook. Okay, wait a minute.
Everybody, this is costing us money.
All right, cool. Here we go.
Cut the check.
What happened? You cut the sound on?
No.
No, it's still going.
I don't hear my headphones no more. Okay. What am I like? Okay, so tonight, today is November the 3rd. I will be at 18926 McNichols Road in Detroit, Michigan.
6 Mile.
That's 6 Mile for those of you who are unaware of that.
Detroit, Michigan area, metropolitan area.
Yes, and I'll be at the party. And what it is basically a fundraiser for the film that I was just got done recording. And
what's the name
filming.
of the movie? Plug the movie.
I was about to plug the movie. Is called Weighed in the Balance.
Movie Weighed in the Balance.
Weighed in the Balance. This should be coming off, produced, directed by a young lady named J.J. Stryker. So tonight is one of the fundraisers for the film. Peace. So tonight, Saturday, November 3rd, this is where I'll be at 18926 McNichols Road. And it is basically a fundraiser for the film that I am in called Weighed in the Balance. J.J. Stryker. We're going to have to have her on the street. Yeah, I'm in the movie. It's not a porno. I'm sorry, all y'all beautiful ladies. It's not a porno. Sorry. One day I'll get to it. But not right now. So it's not. It's a real film. So come check us out and come support Detroit-based film featuring the Pontiac comedian.
Comedian Jeremiah Paul.
And that's what I'm doing tonight.
Probably repeat the name of the venue one more time. I know it's the plug here.
Oh, my bad.
I'm not doing anything tonight.
Go out.
I'm going home after the show. If you want to reach me, you can inbox me. No, I'm just playing. But yeah,
inbox me.
I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I'm gonna play some Call of Duty, have me another drink, and then I'm going to bed. So thank y'all for
hold on.
in.
Let me plug this in right quick.
Yeah.
Because he wanted me to. Anthony just said plug it in. Do you know the name of the venue is not? I don't even know the name of the venue. I just know the address of the venue. The address of the venue
the dress code?
Is 18926.
Oh, the address.
The address. The dress code apparently is scantily clad with a big booty because according to this flyer, that's what women should be looking like. Light skin with a big booty.
Show that on my line.
This all y'all should come up looking like this.
That's the party flyer.
Yeah, that's the party flyer. So
like a sexy chick and a couple bottles of Ciroc.
Yeah, a couple bottles, liquor. I don't know what.
So y'all should just go dress sexy and bring a bottle of Ciroc.
At 18926 McNichols. It doesn't have the actual.
If it's on McNichols, they probably don't got no liquor, so you probably should bring your own bottle of Ciroc.
I think it does say drinks and treats available, but it don't say what kind of drinks.
They might have what's those Capri Suns or some shit.
They got Jello shots in that bitch. You go to a party, you 28 with Jello shots.
Free Capri Suns while they last.
Right.
Cheese and crackers. Government cheese.
Good.
Cracker.
Oh,
Government cheese and cracker.
That hard ass, that shit that don't melt. It just get a little bit wet.
You know what I'm saying? On some saltines with no salt.
Some teens. Y'all
This is a real low budget movie. They didn't have a budget.
Right. No Budget Entertainment presents.
Probe, what's good, man?
Is that Proby?
Yeah.
Demetrius Proby?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Demetrius Proby. Yeah, Demetrius Proby.
That's who it is?
Proby D. Williams.
Oh, that's what he called himself, man? Yes, man. I ain't seen that nigga in a long time.
All right, well, we overdue. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope to see y'all on the next show. Dome City Radio Show, Season 1, Episode 6, and we're out.
All right. Clock's in at 1:35.
Did a nigga just Photoshop her head on Nelly shit? Oh my god.
Yeah, TC did that.
She crazy. You know that's a white bitch.
I think that's old girl that he was dating that was Mayweather ex.
Oh, Miss Jackson? Is that what her name was?
Yeah.
Oh, she was thick.
She was nice.
They said he was uppercutting the shit out of her.
Who was uppercutting Nelly or what's
No, they said that he was being on her. I don't know. I just heard about that shit. There are no facts to what I just said. Proof.
you know,
I heard about that.
you know he got a helm of heifers anyway.
No, I picked up a chick from the airport and took her to. I picked up a chick and took her to his
Mayweather restaurant.
Yeah. No, I picked her up and I took her to the airport basically. No, I picked her from the airport and took her to the other terminal at the airport. Because she was like, I'm on my way to see a boxer. I'm like, who you going to see? Muhammad Ali? She was like, no. I'm sorry.
Oh. Well, there goes the headphone equalizer.
And she was like, no, I'm going to see Floyd Mayweather. I'm like, oh, okay.
You going to see a match? Or you going to?
No, she was going to be a match. She was bad as hell.
Like, I'm going 12 bouts in the ring with the greatest boxer of all time.
That shit crazy. I'm like, damn, she was so excited to go. He flew her in. She was bad too.
Until she got there and found out that it was like Flavor of Love.
Right. 17,000 other bitches.
She was gonna be girlfriend number 8.
Mm-hmm. And that was the funny part is I was thinking that like she was probably like, oh, I'm the